important card. Like, I actually think Force of Will's not nearly as good as it was before, but hey, check this out.
All right, actually going into a match, hopefully.
We've got a quarterfinals match here. If you're just joining us, this is Big Head Joe. Here with Top Deck Tim Landell and Joey Pasco. And we're at the Star City Games Open Series, the quarterfinals of the Legacy. If you are watching this on the archived coverage, as Alberto Del Rio would say, but you already know that. Did you get that reference? Yes! Yes, Tim gets my wrestling reference.
Little disappointed that I did get it.
Awesome.
Oh, wow. 160 for Force of Will.
Yeah, Force of Will is indeed 160.
It's all right, man. They're taking some signs down here. If you hear some banging, just ignore it.
And I mean, that's the other thing. Like, if you get cards for, like, a Type 2 deck on Moto, like, you're going to get to play in all these events. But, like, if you spend, you know, like, $600 or whatever on Force of Wills, like, you can't even redeem them or anything. Whereas, like, if you buy a Type 2 deck, I redeem a lot of sets online.
Oh, okay.
And I have friends that do that. And, like, you know, you just draft all the time. And I think it's a little bit better than selling tickets. So.
Okay, so Edgar starts off with a Verdant Catacombs, and Drew plays an Island and passes back. And Edgar has a Bloated Delta. He's going to crack. Drew allows him to crack that Bloated Delta. Fortunately for Edgar. Edgar's going to play an Underground Sea. Now he's going to crack his second fetch.
Probably going for him to Tarak here, or Tarmogoyf.
Him doesn't seem like a bad plan ever on turn 2. Bayou from the second fetch line from Edgar. Him to Tarak.
There it is.
My favorite artwork because I think it's the worst. It has a wolf on it. I love that.
You think it's the worst, that's your favorite.
Yeah. Spell Snare. It says a lot about me, doesn't it? Spell Snare on the him. Stand still from Edgar, or from Drew.
Probably force back here, yeah.
Force from Edgar gets met with Drew's force, and the standstill is go.
Yeah. Standstill
Edgar's going to have to crack that right away. That's the problem. If he doesn't have any pressure in play, he can't just sit around and wait.
And that's some pressure.
Let's draw the cards with the Goyf from the stack. And he forces the Goyf.
So that's the second force from Drew we've seen.
It's a little odd. I'm surprised he doesn't just untap and repeal it and take the tempo. Or maybe he doesn't have a land. Oh, he has a Wasteland.
He had decided to go with the Wasteland plan instead.
Edgar does not have a land drop. He passes with one Bayou in play.
So the Team America deck looking a lot like its opponents typically do with the getting Wastelands.
I was going to say draw go. We're talking about Drew's deck here.
No, I just mean Team America decks, you know, stifling triggers and wastelanding lands. And looks almost like that's what happened to Edgar, but it was just a wasteland.
Drew hits a Brainstorm. Drew has 2 Polluted Deltas in play, and he is going to go ahead and crack one. Switching with another Island.
The deck Drew's playing, just like, if they get through the first few turns, they're very far ahead. Like, it's going to be critical for Edgar to get something going right away, which I'm not sure his deck is the best at. He doesn't have Aether Vial or anything like that. Yeah.
Jason Mind Sculptor.
Edgar scoops. Scoop to Jace. Going to game 2.
I think we still had all of these right there from Drew as well, showing him the other foil Jace and the rest of his hands. Wow. Sure you don't want to keep playing?
My goodness.
Looks like Edgar Flores might finally lose a match
for
the first time on the weekend, right? That's pretty impressive. Did he lose any in the standard?
In the standard, I think he did lose. I can't remember. He had him in the booth, and I think he said he lost to Grixis Twin.
Okay.
Yeah, he said that was the only deck he lost to, and I was talking about how he tends to do that. He'll lose to a deck in the Swiss, and then beat it in the top 8. Like sometimes the same player.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's your very good at learning. So.
Sorry, just jump in here.
Go for it.
Here's your chance to win 3 months of StarCityGames.com Premium. All you have to do is tweet the answer to our trivia question with hashtag SCG Premium. Also use our hashtag SCGFL. in your response. And the question is, I believe you're typing it right now.
No, I'm not. I'm typing something about.
Oh
the
no!
match.
So I got to come up with a question.
You do.
What is the? What did we say earlier? Off the top of our heads, might be considered. Well, no. Let's just make it real easy. What is the breakout card from New Phyrexia in Legacy today? How simple is that? Tweet your answers at us. SCG at hashtag SCG Premium, hashtag SCGFL.
I can't even type the question. We've already gotten about 13.
Yeah,
13.
it's the easiest question I've ever asked on here. So there you go. Fire away.
It's pretty awesome that you guys give away like the premium.
Yeah.
Like the content is so worth it. Like, you know, for anyone that's remotely serious about the game or even remotely interested, like, I don't know how much it is for a year, but like, I think it's like $40.
It's worth it. Whatever it is, I pay it, and I just renew it and don't even question it.
Yeah, it's just like easily like a $200 value or more in terms of like helping you win, even if it's just F&M, things like that. You know.
I mean, how much do people pay for like all kinds of random things? I think what I figured out the math at some point, and I was like, it's literally like 57 cents a week or something. Like, that's ridiculous. On
the right, we have Drew Levin, recently promoted to the premium side of SCG.com, StarCityGames.com. Absolutely worth it. If I didn't already have premium, I would probably have to get premium so I could keep reading Drew's Legacy articles. Fortunately, I have it, so I don't have that problem. Those of you who may be missing Drew's articles, who were taking advantage, not taking advantage, we know what I mean, taking advantage of the fact that Drew was still, for some inexplicable reason, on the free side. You know, those days are over, and it's time to cross over to the dark side. For serious though, you're missing out on some great content there if you don't. We still have some great writers over on the free side, but Drew is definitely one of the top writers from the free side, and that was made obvious by his transition to the premium side.
Yeah, very much well deserved.
There are lots of other great writers there too. I hate to just not just sitting here trying to kiss up to Drew because he's on the camera and because he's going to watch us later. But
well, it's really interesting too. He's got such a unique view on Legacy, and I don't think there are a whole lot of people that are playing anywhere near as much Legacy as him and like the other people that are, him, AJ, and Jerry, that are just going to all these events.
His love for the format really comes through in his articles, and that's the kind of thing I appreciate because I'm someone who's just learning to love the format. And I kind of want to see someone who shares my enthusiasm for it when I read about it.
Yeah, met Drew back in at the Invitational last year in Richmond, and we played Standard a little bit just for fun on the side. But ever since then, I've been very impressed at his enthusiasm for the game in general. But Legacy is his forte, and I'm just so much that I've learned about Legacy has been from reading Drew's articles.
Right.
And so now, if you can scrounge up 58 cents a week, you can also read Drew Levin's premium articles. It's $29.95 a year.
Yeah, that's nothing.
It's ridiculous. 58 cents a week. So people want to complain about that, and it's really, you buy. People are playing things like Jace the Mind Sculptor, and I can't pay for 58 cents a week. It's absolutely worth it for all the content. I mean, think about print magazines, right? They're like $4 or $5. You get at least a print magazine's worth of content out of Star City in a week, probably way more considering the number of articles in a week, for 58 cents. That's quite a big difference in price from a print magazine. And that's every week. Print magazines come out every month.
Right. We're into game 2 here, both keeping their 7s, and Edgar's going to play an Underground Sea. Drew's going to play an Island and pass the turn. Edgar's going to play up through the Delta. Ponders. Drew allows it. Gotta ask for permission against
first
this deck.
spell, Edgar's resolved all game. I think. I don't even remember.
Definitely a little bit of sarcasm, but
Did he resolve anything?
Feels that way.
I'm trying to think about it.
I'm not sure he did resolve anything.
Right.
Good point, actually.
Because he didn't get the him, and then
didn't get the Goyf.
He didn't get the Goyf because the standstill broke.
His
He
own
resolved.
force was forced.
His force was forced, yeah.
Okay, maybe he didn't. Okay, fair enough.
As sarcastic as that sounds.
Yeah, it did sound,
I don't think
like a joke, but
don't
no.
think Edgar resolved the spell in game
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of what Drew was going for. So mission accomplished there, game 1.
Yeah,
Let's
clearly.
see if Edgar can answer game 2.
Yeah, it seems like Standstill's just at a premium in this matchup where, you know, Drew doesn't have to have anything in play. He'll just eventually get something in play and can just sit and sculpt the perfect hand.
Yeah.
They have a ton of lands. They have Crucible in their deck.
Talk about Crucible a little bit. Like, that's just a one of in here, and I think there's one in the sideboard. What, I guess, the use of that, just being able to recycle things like Wasteland, is that really, is that the...
It's recycling Wasteland. It's really important with their Shackles plan, I think, to allow you to get up to enough lands to take a Goy for a Tombstalker off them.
Okay.
Just keep playing a fetch, sack it, play it again next turn.
Right on, okay.
And it just gives them more inevitability. And, they also have manlands, so it also can serve as, like, a temporary removal spell where you play a manland every turn and block. And... it's a very...
It actually seems pretty versatile.
Yeah, it has a lot of utility.
In the meantime here, Edgar managed to play Mr. Rainforest after pondering. Drew comes back with a Scalding Tarn and passes. Edgar uses the fetch line to find another Underground Sea.
Really improving his card quality with the Ponder there, I think.
Yeah, Drew hasn't done anything...
But he doesn't need to yet.
Exactly.
The Ponder is good for Edgar. It'll help him pick out spells from lands or lands if he needs them, which I don't think he does. Delta.
Another Polluted Delta. Tarmogoyf.
Immediately prepared to put it into the graveyard.
His hand just naturally veers over there.
That was
So
really
I assume
funny.
we're going to see a repeal here, if it resolved that easily.
Wow.
Repeal's just another really awesome card in this deck. Oh, maybe it's Swords if he's saving a fetch.
That was pretty hilarious.
Could just be Counterspell.
Oh, it looks like it's in play. Maybe not. Hard to tell without hearing them, I guess.
I don't think it's resolved yet.
Oh, looks like the Swords.
Oh, it has. And Swords. Edgar with a Brainstorm in response.
It's 3 cards, I think? 4?
Drew deciding whether or not he wants to let that Brainstorm resolve.
Assume we don't have a mental misstep.
Yeah, he lets it resolve.
I think he's just trying to get him afraid of the mental misstep.
I'm pretty sure actually that may be it on the top of his.
That's
That's Brainstorm.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought it was when it was tilted.
Yeah.
It looked kind of like it.
Same kind of coloring there on that Brainstorm.
Gotta tell him to stop playing with the masked ones now so we can see what's going on a little better.
There's Mistress Factory.
We have a win condition.
Yes, we do. We did not see that from Jerry when we watched his deck earlier. Or he had it, but it was too late at that point.
He had milled it to the.
One of them got milled out, yeah.
Sorry for the delay.
Apparently, Breast Cancer Awareness Weekend here at at Star City Orlando with the pink sleeves, pink shirt on Drew, pink hat, Louis Laskin, and Nick Spagnola sporting. This reminds me of the NFL weekend.
Was rocking the pink shirt too.
Yeah, I think he actually changed his shirt because I saw him in the background.
Did he
It's a
really?
black
That's
shirt.
funny. Maybe,
Ponder from Edgar.
Maybe he passed it to Drew. There's a Wasteland. That'll take out that win condition there. Or not.
Take out a White Source instead.
Well, I mean, that's not a terrible idea.
I'm not sure that's the best idea.
I
with
would've probably
Scalding
taken
Tarn
that.
in play.
Yeah, exactly. The Scalding Tarn seems like it will solve that issue. I mean, then again,
I guess if you're playing another threat, you're forcing him to break it if he has the swords. But I think you just wait until after you play Tombstalker.
He's got the other sword. And he can just go grab another...
Yeah.
I mean, unless he... Hold on, unless... Is Edgar play Spike? Huh. Well,
If he is, he doesn't have it.
yeah, he either doesn't have it or doesn't want to play
he's got a
it.
counter...
I think-
He's got mental misstep. That's what he's got in his hand.
Yeah.
So that'll actually...
Looks like Drew's gonna go for the counterspell though.
yeah.
Yep. Actually, counterspell.
Proper counterspell.
Which I think is a really interesting card, you know, and just shows what their deck really wants to do, which is grind them out to the late game.
Yeah.
I don't think most decks in this format, or most people would try to play counterspell. Just, you know, when other people can play a Tarmogoyf or something like that.
Right. I'm very. That's another thing that attracted me to the deck. I'm like, I just want to play with regular counterspell. That just seems fun.
Well,
the
they have
Dolphin Shackles really attracts me to the deck.
Yeah,
I love
that's-
the Dolphin Shackles.
They have more than enough cheap counterspells, like
Yeah.
spells, you know, Spell Snare, Mental Misstep, Force of Will, that I think they can, you know, survive the first turn and start trading one for one, and then, you know, really get them with their brainstorms.
Spell Snare. So Edgar goes for Tarmogoyf and Spell Snare.
Mental misstep.
Paying too late for the misstep, I guess.
So misstep on Drew's Spell Snare.
Probably see the swords now.
Oh, double Tarmogoyf.
Well. It's pretty good.
Drew's hand looks pretty awesome, though. He has a Brainstorm, a Swords.
Can you set up a credit request for him?
So Swords one of your voice. He has something else. I can't remember either. I was thinking it's Brainstorm, Swords, and something, and I can't remember what it is.
Has a few cards.
Oh yeah, actually, he, for some reason when he was holding it before, I thought he only had 3. Oh, Repeal.
Repeal. Repeal's going to be good here.
Yep.
Just buying more time, pushing towards the late game,
Yeah, which is exactly what he wants to do.
searching for the Crucible or the Shackles. Though the Shackles will probably need the Crucible at this point to get a Goyf.
Good point.
Those things get out of hand real fast.
Second Tundra added to Drew's side of the board, so
Just playing around those wastelands, I think. That's one really interesting thing with fetch lands and wasteland in the format. You really want to get like 2 or 3 of your dual land, or you want to get none, it seems like.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to get one,
and then just leave
And then-
yeah, be vulnerable.
but at the same time, if they have 2 wastelands and you get 2 of them,
Yeah.
kind of creates a very interesting situation, I think.
Jace attempts to get casting, gets dazed by Edgar. Yeah, whenever I'm playing the Team America deck, I never feel comfortable without 3 black sources to play. Like,
Yeah.
I want 3.
I'm a little
Two's
surprised
cool.
that Drew went for the Jace there.
Yeah, instead of like
Instead
a repeal.
of just playing Repeal and a Brainstorm, and, you know, probably not even the Brainstorm, just play Repeal. You buy yourself more time, and at this point I think you want to nullify any daze effects or something like that. Edgar doesn't have much left.
Yeah, seems like Drew isn't, you know, he's not in too much danger from taking one hit from that Goyf, so maybe that's,
Yeah.
maybe he figures I'll try for the Jace.
Is that Submerge?
What is that die we have there? Is
I'm
that
not sure what that
powers
is.
up the
Hanging out.
Oh, yeah. There's a Submerge.
That's a very good card.
Yeah.
See, with people playing, with people using dice as tokens, it got confusing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So he attempts to play Goyf, and Drew counterspells that one.
Is that the Wasteland you played, the DCI one? I can't tell.
I think it may just be Polluted Delta.
Okay.
I'm taking a guess too. Like a Judge foil Polluted Delta, and there's a
Yeah, it
standstill
does look
from
like
Drew.
Delta.
The standstill is pretty good right now.
Yeah, that's going to turn into 3 cards as soon as Edgar draws a spell.
Exactly what Drew wants. He's just down to 2 cards, but Edgar can't just sit.
Looks like Edgar actually drew a Tombstalker. Or probably the Goyf, actually.
Just got news from MTGmom.com that Chris
Chris
Van
Van
Meter
Meter,
moved into the semifinals, defeating Jason Rafowitz.
Tombstalker from
indeed the
Edgar
Tombstalker.
breaks the standstill.
Hits the Force of Will. It's 2 Force
Double
of Wills.
force and a spell pierce, was it? Is that a spell pierce? Was
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Standstill turning into a counter spell and another card.
And he removes the repeal to pay for or to play the force.
Seems a bit odd keeping Spell Pierce with Edgar having 5 lands.
Good point. Can't disagree with that.
Yeah, Edgar sure did draw a lot of his threats.
Yeah.
Sure did have a lot of them dealt with, though.
Not for a lack of effort, I guess.
Drew
Yeah.
now on the Mishra's Factory plan.
Has another Submerge. It's going to be Time Walk again.
And
Now
there's
the Spell Pierce goes.
another Force of Will, removing the Spell Pierce, yeah.
Continue to pick away at him with the Factory. Draws another Force of Will.
So,
Writing is almost on the wall in this game, I think.
yeah.
It's feeling that way.
Does Edgar have Jason in his deck or anything like that to get back into the game? Or
He may, I'm gonna look, but I don't know if the deck lists are up yet on the coverage, but I'm gonna check it out. We don't have them in front of us.
a Wasteland to stop the...
Yeah,
Yeah, wait.
stop the factory.
Yeah, I'll slow that down a little bit.
Yeah, no deck list at the moment.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what Rafowitz was playing? That was one guy whose list we just didn't even know he was playing.
If I saw him, I could probably tell you.
Okay.
But
wasn't
not by the
sure if
name.
you knew. Okay.
I'm just gonna ask Megan.
Yeah. Jerry won game 1. What's this? Oh, for this. Okay.
So Edgar resolving a brainstorm.
Sees the second Wasteland. That could be pretty huge with Drew going for
The
Mishra's
factory
Factory
plan, yeah. But as Tim was saying, him drawing into the Crucible is something that could happen and just allow him to reuse the factories.
I wouldn't be surprised if Drew boarded out the Crucible.
By the way, Raph was playing Metalworker.
And he was the one that won.
No, he was one that lost.
That's unfortunate. The Metalworker deck is so much fun to watch.
Oh yeah,
You either see fireworks or nothing.
Yeah.
yeah.
And the fireworks are exciting, and the nothing ends very quickly.
Every time we see the deck in coverage, or at least when I'm covering it, I see nothing. But I know it's a cool deck. You know what I mean? I know. I think I've seen a couple good things from it, but like,
It never wins small. We
Yeah.
tested the deck a little online, and if they killed your Metalworker or countered it, your deck was not very good.
right.
But if you stuck the Metalworker, it was insane.
So Drew attempts to resolve a brainstorm and gets mental misstep. In the meantime, Edgar, I think, played his second Wasteland, took out a Mishra's Factory with 1, attempted to take out a Tundra. Drew tried to use the Tundra to cast the brainstorm, that got misstepped, and the Tundra went. So Drew left with just basics and a polluted Delta right now. I believe that's a basic island up there with the glare on it. And there's
There is
Jace,
Jace.
and there's Force. Force removing mental misstep.
Wow, this match is intense.
Both these guys are just drawing haymakers off
Yeah,
the
they
top.
really are.
Edgar just keeps drawing gas after gas, no
Yeah.
cantrips or anything like that. And Drew,
Drew looks like he's
All the
down to
Force
2
Lords.
cards. 3. Oh,
3. He has a Submerge, too, though.
There's a spell snare for him to tore off.
It's another Submerge, I think.
And there's a
Oh, that's a standstill. And Drew takes the lead again.
Obviously, Edgar has to break the standstill. I mean,
I think he has a Hymn-to-Tark in his hand.
Yeah,
He doesn't have to play that right away.
Nope.
yeah,
He can wait until he's going to draw a threat and try to get better cards out of his hand.
There's Mishra's Factory.
God, I wish they
That'll,
had that Wasteland right now.
that'll be the pressure if Edgar can't deal with it. Attack you.
The other option Edgar might be trying here with the standstill, it's a little awkward with the him, is just letting him draw up to 7 cards so that he gets less value out of you break it on their end step or something with a brainstorm.
That's what I've heard about. It's about the best. One of the better times to break a standstill is during somebody's end step, making them discard the 3 of the cards. You know, they draw up to 10 and you need to discard 3. So in with the factory. So right now Flores, tons of lands on his side of the board, nothing else. Drew Levin with a standstill in play, bunch of lands.
He might not even have a target for that fetch land unless he has one more Bayou in his deck.
Yeah. One of the lands Drew Levin has, though, is Mishra's Factory, which is currently beating Edgar Flores down underneath the standstill that Drew has in play.
I want to say that Edgar does have another Bayou, though. I think most of the decks are running 8 at this point.
Did any of his lands get wasted earlier?
Mishra's Factory and a Tundra.
Did any of Edgar's lands get wasted early? I don't know if that happened.
Edgar's, I don't remember in this game. I know it happened.
What is that?
I have no idea.
What is what?
The smother. A new smother.
So he exactly. That's why we're having trouble. He smothers the Mishra's Factory, breaking the standstill. Giving Drew
draws 3
cards. At a point when Drew had tons of cards already, so he is going to have to discard.
This isn't quite the end of turn that we had thought we might see, but
close.
Pretty close.
So
Drew discards 2 swords.
2 swords to plowshares.
Edgar has to know that's a really bad sign.
Kind of curious if how many threats are left in Edgar's deck. Has he played all 4 Tarmogoyfs? I feel like he may have at least played 3.
Yeah, he's played a couple Tombstalkers, a couple Tarmogoyfs. He still has probably another Jace left. Maybe even 2.
Right. Him to Torok. Actually, Drew may be looking as well. I saw. Well, he didn't. He went through it too quick. But him you. So. Okay, Chris Van Meter has won. We actually did. We got that.
Yeah.
Giving an update that we already
Megan's,
gave. Megan's pretty quick.
Yeah, Megan's on the ball with that stuff.
So with the him on the stack, Drew casts a brainstorm.
Is he heading the Submerges?
What's that?
I think he's heading a pair of Submerges on top of his deck.
At least one.
Couldn't quite tell what the other card was.
I don't even know what that means. I think that's what Drew's saying. You can't just roll dice. It looked like they didn't even assign values, and Edgar just went, I'm gonna roll some dice.
Took out.
Drew was just like, pick whatever you want. roll the dice, do whatever you want.
So he hit what, Wasteland and
Might have been another Wasteland.
It actually looked like 2 Wastelands.
Okay.
To me, but a second him.
Brainstorm and a Scalding Tarn that time. Look at this, Drew only has 3 cards in his hand now. But one of them is another standstill. Edgar looks...
Edgar's like, I hemmed you like 7 times.
Seems like this deck's pretty resilient to him.
Well, you follow up him every time with a standstill that they always have to break.
There's a Wasteland. We might have been wrong about the other thing he discarded off the first him. It
was hard to
remind
tell,
me of like the 5th Wasteland or something. So, of course, we've seen them from both players. So.
Yeah, I wonder if Edgar's trying to deck Drew.
Yeah, I mean, like, that almost seems like the best chance he has right now to win.
Somebody just said that on Twitter, too.
Yeah.
There's the factory.
Mishra's Factory from Drew to help put that pressure back on under the standstill, but is it going to be enough?
I don't know if Edgar's out of Wastelands yet, but that would be a very good card.
He definitely
right
used
now.
it least. Well, I mean, he also has like Smother and like things like that he can use.
Yeah. But then he has to break another standstill.
That's Virtue Revoker. Huh.
Wow.
That would be a very good one to resolve.
It
And
would be-
stick, I guess.
yeah.
Too many
Can't
cards to
guess
know
what
what to
that
do
would
with.
that
So
name's
many
Mishra's Factory?
cards, so many cards. Probably.
No. No. Wait. That's right, it can name a land. That's right. Again, Pithy Needle, Revoker, Conundrum. Yep.
Name Mishra's
Well, you could
Factory.
needle a factory anyways, right? It just would
Yeah.
still be able to add mana.
Right, exactly.
I think
you could still needle.
It's the same thing. I
It just,
believe.
I think so too.
There's
I think you're right,
Revoker
but
non-land.
you
Which
check
one is
it out.
non-land?
It named the Dolphin Shackles.
Okay.
I thought he pointed to the factory.
I don't think you can name it non. It's a
Okay,
non-land
maybe it is
card.
non-land. Maybe you're right. I'm gonna get the tech to break it down. It is
Right.
non-land. Okay.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Okay, so that does make sense. It is non-land.
Drew still had a bunch of submerges, I thought, though, from earlier. Breaking 2 fetches. Counting the library.
Seems important at this point.
You may have figured out what Edgar might have been up to. There's a submerge.
Deck needs to play Gaia's Blessing or something.
Or
Just a random Emrakul.
maybe not even breaking those fetches, just gives you a few more cards.
Right. Jace the Mind Sculptor. And Drew Levin.
Better have a counter for that.
Or solo from Edgar.
You're still in the room. Please come
They're
advance
gonna fight
stage.
over it. Force of Will gets a counter spell
Still in the room.
from
Please come
Drew.
advance stage. Thank you.
Suspect we won't be brainstorming with Jace.
No, probably not.
There's the Fate Seal, putting the Revoker on bottom. It's a really good interaction with Submerge and the Fate Seal ability.
Yeah. Alright, Hymn to Torok. This is about the 8th one, I think, that Edgar's played. Gets spell snared. It feels like it. It just feels like so many hymns.
They can use that mental misstep now. Probably want to pay mana for it, yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, why not at this point?
Yeah, you got
Especially
lands.
being at 6 life. So, Edgar, mental missteps targeting the spell snare, and mental misstep right back from Drew.
Does he have another standstill in his hand, I think? I'm not sure we'll even be seeing that one at this point.
There's a Phyrexian Rogue. It is a standstill. You're right, I don't think we'll see it either.
And now he's got a pretty easy target to name, yeah.
But I think it just gets submerged and Fate Sealed to the bottom again.
There's
So,
another,
Revoker names Jace, of course.
There's the
Submerge
Submerge.
takes care of the
Submerge.
Revoker.
Still
And,
holding another Submerge, I think, too.
Fate Seal you. Yeah. I think I'll put that on the bottom.
face on the bottom with your other
The funny
button.
thing is the bottom isn't that far down. It's
I know,
He
I
kind of
think
just
it's not-
ousted it, right? I mean, it's not that far off from an oust.
Well, I'm a little surprised Edgar didn't use one of his Catacombs last turn just to get the other Revoker back into the cycle.
Yeah.
We got an attack knocking him down to 4, I think.
Believe so.
Yep.
So Edgar at 4 life on a 2-turn clock if he can't deal with that Mishra's Factory. You know what's exciting is if Edgar wins this game, we get to watch another game.
Maybe then we'll see someone get decked.
It's like always got left in his deck of Revokers.
Yet another Revoker.
Yeah, it may be one of the first Revokers, because one was foil, one was non-foil. No, another Submerge.
Hello.
Submerge has taken
I
out
think
3
that's
Revokers.
going to the bottom with the rest of your friends.
It's put it on the bottom. Attack
comes the factory.
Alright, go to 2. Edgar Flores at 2 life.
Man.
That was a spell curse. I
That's not
think
gonna
that
do
will do
much.
it.
Jace will kill
Kill
Jace, and he's gonna pack
And
him
that's it,
up.
yeah.
And that's the game.
Wow.
Drew Levin slays
advances
the
to
giant?
semifinals. Yeah, that was
Magic players, Daniel Haynes.
Was that a still